Imagine a place on Earth where people don't go missing for days. They vanish in minutes. Imagine a forest where compasses stop working. A road where drivers suddenly feel an invisible hand pulling them into the dark. And the scariest part is this: these places are real. You can visit them. You can stand there. You can breathe that air. But most people refuse to go, even when money is offered, because some locations don't feel like normal places. They feel like warnings. Today, you are going to discover 7 terrifying real locations that people still avoid because something there feels wrong. And while you listen, keep asking yourself one question. If these places are harmless, then why do people still fear them? Let's begin. Hidden in the canals of Mexico, there is an island that looks like a nightmare someone forgot to wake up from. A small island where thousands of dolls hang from trees. Their eyes are empty. Their faces are cracked. Some are missing arms. Some are missing legs. Some look like they are screaming. The wind moves them. The branches shake them. And the water below stays completely silent. This island is known as the Island of the Dead Dolls. And the story behind it is even darker. Decades ago, a man lived alone on this island. One day, he found the body of a little girl in the water. She had drowned. After that, he started hearing whispers. He claimed the spirit of the girl was still there, watching him, waiting. So he did something strange. He began collecting dolls and hanging them everywhere to calm the spirit, to keep the island from feeling angry. But visitors say some dolls move their heads. Some seem to stare directly at you. Some appear in different places, even when nobody touched them. And locals refuse to stay there after sunset. So ask yourself this: if it is only dolls, why do grown men leave before dark? With fear on their faces? Now we travel to the frozen mountains of Russia, where one of the most terrifying unsolved mysteries in history happened. In the year 1959, 9 experienced hikers entered the Ural Mountains. They were trained. They were prepared. They had survived harsh conditions before. But this time, none of them came back alive. When rescuers finally found their camp, they discovered something impossible. The hikers had cut their way out of their own tent. From the inside, not unzipping it, not opening it, cutting it. As if they were escaping something so terrifying, they did not even have time to think. Their footprints led into the snow. Barefoot, half-dressed, without coats, without shoes, they ran into the freezing darkness, as if the cold was safer than what was behind them. Their bodies were later found scattered. Some had broken ribs. Some had crushed skulls. One woman was missing her tongue. And yet, there were no clear signs of an animal attack. No enemy footprints. No explanation that made sense. Even today, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains unsolved. Some believe it was an avalanche. Some believe it was secret military testing. Others believe something else was out there. Something not human. Something that forced them to run until they died. So tell me, what could scare trained hikers so badly that they chose death instead of staying inside their tent? Now imagine standing in the middle of a desert and seeing a giant hole in the earth, burning non-stop, a crater filled with fire, glowing like a portal to another world. This place exists. It is called the Door to Hell. It began when scientists accidentally collapsed a gas field. They set it on fire, thinking it would burn out in a few days, but it did not. It kept burning, day after day, year after year, for decades. At night, the crater lights up the desert, as if the ground itself is alive. People who stand near it say the heat feels unnatural. The air feels heavy. Some feel dizzy, as if something is pulling them in. And even though the explanation is scientific, the feeling is not. Because when you stare into endless fire, your mind starts asking questions. If the earth can burn forever in one place, what else is hidden below us? Now we travel to Japan, to a forest that looks peaceful from the outside, but feels like a trap once you step inside. At the base of Mount Fuji, there is a forest so silent, you can hear your own heartbeat. The trees grow so thick, sunlight barely reaches the ground. This forest is called Aokigahara. The world knows it. As the suicide forest, people say, when you enter, your sense of direction disappears. Phones lose signal. Compasses behave strangely because the ground is filled with volcanic iron. But that is not what scares people most. What scares people is the feeling. Visitors describe it as being watched, being followed. Some say they hear footsteps behind them. But when they turn, there is no one. Some say they hear voices, calling them deeper into the trees. And the deeper you go, the more the silence feels like it is pressing against your mind. So ask yourself, is it only a forest, or is it a place where darkness becomes a voice? Now we travel to Romania, to a place locals fear so much. They refuse to enter it alone. There is a forest called Hoia Baciu. Locals call it the Bermuda Triangle of Transylvania. People who enter this forest report strange lights in the sky. They report sudden nausea, headaches, skin burns. Some say they lose hours of time and cannot explain where it went. And in the middle of this forest, there is a perfect circular clearing where nothing grows. No trees, no grass, no life. Animals refuse to enter it. People say, when you step into that circle, the air changes. Your ears ring. Your chest feels tight. Some claim they have seen shadow figures standing between the trees. Others claim they have photographed shapes that were not visible to the naked eye. So tell me, if a forest can make people lose time, what else can it take from you? Now let's talk about a location so famous that even people who have never traveled have heard its name. The Bermuda Triangle, a section of the Atlantic Ocean where ships disappear and planes vanish without leaving a trace. Over the decades, countless vessels have been lost here, and not just old wooden ships. Modern aircraft with advanced navigation have vanished in this area. Some pilots reported strange lights. Some reported instruments failing. Some reported the ocean looking wrong, as if it was boiling. And then, silence. No distress call. No wreckage. Sometimes, not even a single piece of debris. Scientists offer explanations, like methane gas or magnetic anomalies. But there is a problem. Not every disappearance fits the science. So here is the question. If it is only weather, why do so many experienced crews vanish? As if the ocean swallowed them whole? Now we travel to Africa, to a lake that looks beautiful from a distance, but becomes terrifying when you learn the truth. Lake Natron in Tanzania is a lake so deadly, it can turn animals into stone. The water contains extreme levels of salt and chemicals. It is so alkaline that it can burn skin and destroy eyes. Birds that land here sometimes die, and when their bodies wash up, they become preserved like statues, perfectly frozen in time. The lake looks unreal, red and pink, like something from another planet. But the closer you get, the more you realize this lake is not a lake. It is a trap. And the scariest part is this. This is not a myth. This is not a ghost story. This is real chemistry. So imagine walking near a lake and knowing that one wrong step could end your life and leave your body behind, like a silent statue. Would you risk it? Now step back for a moment. 7 real places. A doll island where the air feels alive. A mountain pass with deaths that still make no sense. A burning crater that looks like a portal. A forest that feels like it whispers. A Romanian woodland that steals time. An ocean zone that swallows technology. A lake that turns life into stone. Different countries, different climates, different stories. But the same feeling. That something on this planet does not want to be understood. And maybe the reason these places terrify us is not because they are supernatural. Maybe it is because they remind us how small we really are. Because no matter how advanced we become, there are still corners of this world that feel like they belong to something else. So here is my final question for you. If you had the chance to visit just one of these places with a camera and no rules, which one would you choose? And more importantly, would you return? If you enjoy real mysteries, dark truths, and places that feel too terrifying to be real, then subscribe to StoryX. Because here, every story feels like a warning, and every truth has a shadow behind it. Some places do not need monsters. The place itself is the monster.